Annoying.
Welcome to the living room. Today we have a special show. I have some special guests with me, and super small guests. And today we're going to be talking about young motherhood. Before I go into that, I'd like to talk a little bit about the living room. And the living room was designed to be a safe place to have real conversations. And in doing that, we will talk about some things in a conversational way. It's a place where you are free to say and speak your mind without judgment. And we are there pretty much to learn more so than to teach, to learn, and to be heard. And so the three ladies I have tonight with me are mentees of mine. They are three reasons why I had a box of tissues on my desk, from crying and life situations and growing. Very talented young ladies in different ways. We have Reality, who is a singer, Rita, a dancer, and Gracie, a photographer, that I could never get to do the work the way I wanted it to. But she's with us as well. So the living room will have a number of discussions and topics that we'll talk about. And some of them are, the majority of them have to do with relationships and relationships with other people. Most importantly, relationships with yourself. We've had classes for men in anger management, for women finding purpose, and just in general conversation. Some of the things we're looking at have to deal with this book here, Marriage versus Living Together, 10 Reasons to Take the Plunge. And then we have another one that's called How to Understand a Broken Man. And so as we try to live life at its fullest, we're finding that the more you understand about yourself and those you're talking to, the better off you'll be. So having said that, if you want to participate, we will be doing this often. Tonight's session, I think we split into two, so we'll let you know when the next one will occur via Facebook. And if you'd like to subscribe to we have a YouTube channel and also the Facebook Living Room channel as well. So we're going to get started here, and I'm going to ask the young ladies to just briefly introduce themselves. And so we'll start with Gracie at the top.
Hi, I'm Gracie, 19. son. He's 5 months old. His name's JC.
How many months is he?
5.
5 months.
5 months.
Okay.
Um, I live with him and my boyfriend and our dogs. And I mean, that's really it.
All right. How many dogs are there?
There's 2. There's Lola and then Cecil is right there.
Oh,
Lola wants to move it.
all right. Rita.
Hi, I'm Rita. I'm 18. My daughter is gonna be one on the 26th. I stay with my sister at the moment, but yeah.
All right. Reality.
Hi, I'm Reality. I'm 21. My daughter's name is Ava. She is going to be 9 months on the 29th. I live with my boyfriend and his 2 kids, so there's currently 3 kids in the house, and then I have one on the way as well. So,
All right. So, part of what's driving this conversation was that when I started at East Point, um, teenage pregnancy is the reality. No pun intended. Uh, that what I found through mentoring and conversations was the fact um, when a young lady found out she was pregnant, she had a choice to have the baby or not. And the reality that you guys educated me on, not you, but teenage mothers, was that they both were going to need help. Um, if a young lady decided to have an abortion, uh, she has to live with that the rest of her life. Okay. If she decides to have the baby, she has to live with that the rest of their life. Um, and what I saw was that those who decided to have the baby um, had a harder time not dealing with it, but it's almost like they were being or would be punished or ostracized because they were going to have the baby. Um, Now, if they or the young lady decided to have an abortion, that's something that is not general knowledge. Usually it's kept hidden and it's dealt with, and life goes on. And then that individual has to deal with um, the mindset, the if there's any trauma, guilt, and all of those emotional components, she has to carry those a lot of times by herself. Now, if you decide to have the baby, now you all guys all know who I am, what I believe in. And so the fact that you decided to have the baby, even though you did homework that I didn't give you, and you're pregnant, and so you come to me and say, I'm pregnant. That challenged me personally because of what I believe in and what I wanted for you guys and all of that. Um, but the part of it that made me change was you were looking at me for support. And you told me because you wanted me to know because of our relationship, which forced me to really evaluate my prejudice, my preferences, and all those kind of things. And the bottom line was, how am I going to respond to you moving forward? And the answer was love, to love you, not to punish you or kick you to the curb or make you less than what you were to me at that point. Um, but I saw a lot of you hurt because of the support that you thought you were going to get, you didn't get. So you guys are not alone. I've heard and have gone through and been involved in a lot of lives and have seen how you've matured. So what I'd like for you to do as we go through these questions, just be open and honest about your experience. And I have found that it was life changing for me because I had to put away, like I said, my thoughts and try and be what you needed me to be at the time. So the question is, what percentage do you think pregnancies are intentional? Just feel free to answer.
Oh,
I would say, I don't know, that's a hard one because like I feel like whenever you're younger, especially with teen pregnancies, I feel like people just aren't as careful just because they they automatically think that this person that they're with is somebody that they're gonna marry, and just like spend a lifetime with, so they're not very careful with it. So I can't give you like a percentage because that's just, I don't know, but I just feel like a lot of teenage girls just they kind of just believe that the person they're with is gonna be like a forever type of thing, which we've all been there before. So they don't really make the most careful choices for the most part, but that's my opinion on it.
Right. Okay. Rita?
I don't know. Maybe like a 30 because I met some people that have been like, yeah, I'm gonna get pregnant so he could stay, and then I met some people that is like, hey, like it just happened. Like I don't know. So I would probably say maybe a 30, but I don't know to be honest with you.
So 30% are like, I'm going to get pregnant.
Probably like a 30%. I don't know.
Okay. Gracie, you got any thoughts?
yeah, I think like between like maybe 10 and 20%, because like I always thought it'd like be more than that, but I feel like a lot of the time, like not kids, but like teens will be like kind of like purposely get pregnant because kind of like what you guys were both saying, they think it's like forever thing, or like they're gonna like end up with this person forever, and they like don't really think of the future. They just think of like short term what's gonna happen, and they don't really realize how big of a deal a baby is. They just kind of think it's like, oh, I want a baby, but they don't really like realize how much like work and like stress it actually is in the long run.
Okay. So we pretty much all agree that it's a low percentage that is intentional. But why would a 15, 16-year-old look for their soulmate so early in life?
I'm sorry. Say that again. It's cutting in and out.
Why do you think someone who's a teenager is looking for a lifelong relationship so early?
I think that's just like most girls' dream is to like, if you really love somebody or you think that they love you back, you want to spend a lifetime with them, and especially as you get older, you realize that puppy phase is not gonna last long, so I feel like they think about, oh, it's nice right now, but they don't know what's about to happen because they're so young, like that's every girl's dream, like, oh, I found a guy that I like, I love him, and now we're going to spend the rest of our lives with each other. Like I've been there before, and I'm sure everybody else has too. So I just think, I don't know why, but I just think girls just always have that fairy tale thing, like that they're going to fall in love with somebody, and usually it never really works out with your first love, so.
Right. How do you know what love is at 14, 15 years old? When it comes to a mate, you know what family love is, but love and make a decision that this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. It's like,
You don't.
You don't.
You don't. You think you do, but you don't. Rita, did you want to say something?
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, you don't know at that age. You think you do, but I don't know. I just feel like whenever you get that kind of attention from a boy, you're like, oh my god, he is the one, and it's not like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just you think you do, but you don't, and you end up learning. It took me a while to learn, and I've even like right now, I'm like, I thought I was in love back then, like
Hmm.
that wasn't love. No, it was, it was love there, baby. Sorry, but yeah,
Rita, what are you doing?
I'm trying to.
sorry,
Okay.
um, Rita.
Yeah. So, so there's this fantasy mindset that the first time you experience a little something, something, that this is the one. Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Um,
especially if
so,
it's like your first time, like you know, if you do more things than you would in kindergarten with that boy, like if you make out and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like you think you're in love with them because that's like your first time with that person.
right, right. So you don't have any skill with relationships, and then you jump into a relationship with someone who seems to feel right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So with that happening, with all of the information that's out there, and everybody knows somebody who is a teenage father or a teenage mother, I think. Um, why do young people want to start a family so soon?
Sorry, someone called me.
Say what?
I said sorry, someone called me. So I like
Oh,
for a second, but I
Right.
so while Gracie's getting it together, why
Mhm.
do young people start a family so soon, knowing that they're at a disadvantage?
I feel like, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you good.
Okay, I just feel like a lot of us were like, we didn't have that guidance. A lot of us didn't have that like talk, I guess you would say, with our parents. So it was more like, I don't know where I'm going with this. Hold on. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it because it just kind of happens. Like, when you're in the moment, it just like, okay, what do I do? But then
Hmm.
you're like, okay, I always wanted a family because some of us, sorry,
Some of us, yes.
I don't want to start crying on here. This is stupid.
No, it's real.
I'm sorry, guys. But like, some of us didn't grow up with like a father in our lives, so we don't know like what we're doing. So we like, when we get pregnant, we like want that for our child. We want
Yep.
that family that we never had. So when we're so young and we do it, we're like, okay, this is what is gonna happen. I'm gonna raise my child with someone. I'm gonna have a family, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Yep. You're
Right.
looking for that. You're looking for what you were missing.
Exactly.
I feel like whenever, especially me, like I understand Rita's point of view too, because my dad, he took off on me, and my mom, she passed away when I was little too. So I've always just looked for that, like, I don't know. It's just like you're missing something, and people always think like a baby and a family is gonna fix it when it's not.
Hmm.
you know I still, to this day, like, I have Ava, and I love her so much, and she's like the biggest blessing. You guys know how I feel about my baby. I love her, but there's still something missing. Like,
Yeah.
there's still that pain that I thought that she would help it, and it's not gone. It numbs it, but it doesn't get rid of it. You just assume. And I feel like, especially with girls that grew up with daddy issues, whenever they whenever they find somebody that gives them that attention, even if it's not the good type of attention, they're always looking for that because they didn't have a dad showing them how a man should love them.
Yeah. How to be loved, how to be
Yeah,
treated. So you're kind
yeah,
of like thrown out there. So you're trying to figure it out on your own.
yeah,
So it's a lack of the right kind of
Can you
attention,
shut the door, please?
um, that has, and reality is that there's a hole that you try and fill. And even after having your baby, where that is the joy of your life, there's still a void there that the baby did not fill.
Hmm.
Um,
It's not her job, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like a lot of people do that too, where they think a baby's gonna fix that, that pain, and they put all that pain on their child. And I realize, like, even though my daughter's about to be 9 months and she's very little, I don't even want to start getting into that habit, because, like, if I don't figure out a way to heal myself and forgive what has happened, then all my energy is gonna feed off onto her, and that's not her job. She's a child. She needs to be a child. It's not her job to fulfill what's missing in my life.
Mm-hmm.
wow, that's powerful. It's
Yeah.
powerful. It's like we were talking earlier, and I gave you the example of what a young lady told me. And for those that are listening, she said to me, I'm going to have a baby, so I will have someone that will always love me and won't leave me. So, and she had her home life was that, um, unfortunately, her mom and dad separated, and then mom got a new boyfriend, and the boyfriend consumed the mother. And so the daughter was left alone a lot. Uh,
Mm.
and so she was missing that relationship with her mother. Dad was gone. And the dynamic between a daughter, a mother's daughter, and a daughter's mother's boyfriend is a strained relationship anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why she said she was willing to, uh, I don't want to say take the risk, but the challenge of raising a child by herself because of the lack of relationship, the lack of love, the lack of feeling wanted, uh, because rejection is hard for anybody. And for
Mm-hmm.
a parent to, um, in the form of rejection, choose a new partner over the child, it's hard for a child to deal with. It's just hard. So the starting a new family, whether it happens by accident or intentional, there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of emotional work to do. And reality, you and Rita both um, mentioned about the absence of preparedness because of dads not showing you what a young lady should be treated like, the right type of attention, the right type of love. Um, Gracie, how do you feel about what we were talking about? Have you experienced or have you seen um, a deficiency or experienced the deficiency that a child or using a child to fill?
Wait, you like start with the like last?
The deficiency, if or the lack of attention, tried to replace that with a baby.
Oh yeah, I think like kind of like it could be like okay. I think a lot of people say it's like their parents or like a relationship. Like if they just kind of ignore family, it kind of like thing. Almost I think a thing for like attention. Almost not attention like pay attention to me because I'm pregnant, but like attention like from their baby. They always have something to do. Someone that's like always worried about them. Um, I I wasn't like planning to start a family at a young age, but I mean it happened, and then we like did what we had to do. Cause I always kind of say like they didn't ask to be here, so don't make it like worse for them. Like don't make their life harder than it has to be because you had them at a young age. They say, I know, like, being a young parent, mom or dad, it doesn't affect how good of a parent you are, but like, it's just kind of statistics like prove that young parents are usually below the poverty rate because just because they're younger, it's like harder to get into college or into school or get a better job because they're with the baby. So
Mm-hmm.
um, it's almost like you have to do everything you can to have enough money, to have enough time, to be mentally stable and physically stable enough to take care of a baby at a young age or an old age. But yeah.
So, and you bring up a good point. Your mindset. There's both physical and mental challenges, and there are emotional challenges as well. Um, what do you feel like was the most challenging for you to deal with?
Like out of emotional, mental, physical, like out of that.
Uh-huh.
Probably emotional. I'm like a super emotional person, so I mean, it kind of like I say emotional and mental because when I'm feeling bad, my mental health will be like super bad for a whole week. But like I'd say, my emotional stuff really is what got in the way a lot because if I'm mad or happy or sad, it just affects everybody around me because of the way I react to everything.
I know.
So yeah, I remember some days in your class, but
Yeah. And I think it's true for all of you. They have, when you were in school and I wasn't around, um, that there were days where I almost had to meet you at the door and just give you a hug
mhm.
and kick you back
Yep.
out. Uh,
You're like, go for a
and
walk.
reality, yeah, do a lap. Reality is to come in and rub my head, the top of my head for good luck. And and so the mental aspect of it, along with the emotional, the anxiety level and depression kick in.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah.
Speak
Yep.
to that, Rita.
Jeez, where do I start? Okay, like when you're pregnant, when you first get pregnant, it's your first child. So that by itself is already scary because it's like I'm gonna be a mother. You're worried about being a bad mom. You don't want to repeat stuff that your own parents did. And
Mhm.
then being in high school is like I was 17, so I was partying and stuff. So I had to change the mindset. You're about to be a mother. You need to finish school. You got to get your stuff together. You're about to have a child. Basically, you have to raise a child. You have to raise another little human being. So that's like it's kind of stressful. And then when you do it like by yourself, I don't say by yourself, but like basically by yourself. Like you're going to appointments by yourself. You're getting yourself to school. Like you have to do it. It's hard. It's
Mhm.
emotionally hard and physically hard on your body because your body changes when you get pregnant and afterwards. So, yeah.
Speaking about that, Rita, the you didn't have your driver's license, so you were dependent
Yeah, I
on
was
other.
depending on like my mom and my sister to get me places, and you don't want to have to do that.
So
You
here
don't
you
want
are
to have to do
trying
that.
to be an adult because you are having a child, and it
Exactly.
seems like nothing was working for you.
No, it wasn't. Nothing was going the way I wanted it to at all. But I kind of just had to adjust to it because it's like at the same time, God has other plans for you, not
Yep.
yours, his plans. So I was like, okay, everything happens for a reason. I'm going through what
Right.
I'm going through for a reason. So just trust the process and just go with the flow. But it's hard. It's really hard.
All
I
right.
can say.
What the greatest disappointment after you found out you were pregnant? What was the greatest disappointment? It looks like you might have overcome it because y'all are doing what you have to do. Your mothers, you're doing what you need to do. But I know there, your expectations were blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
as a result of those, you were disappointed. So, what were your expectations, and where were you wrong for expecting?
Um,
Somebody else go first, because mine sounds crazy.
um, I would say that, like, I don't know. I expected, like, whenever I got pregnant, like, I would be, like, in a stable home, like, mentally, and just in a stable place, like, financially as well. I was working as a caregiver when I found out I was pregnant. So I wasn't making that much money for one, and then just me and my boyfriend, we just weren't really on good terms either. So it was just kind of hard to be like, I was excited, but I was just like, I hope things change within these 9 months because things aren't going good right now. You know, I was living with my mom, and I wanted to move out. You know, like I wanted to have my own place, be in my own area, because I don't know if any of you guys experience this, but like my mom's very, very pushy, like especially when it comes to a baby, you know, she's like, she wants to still do everything. And I was like, I want to be a mother, you know, I want to do that on my own, you know. So I wanted to find my own place. So I just started having to work my butt off, and that's what I did. And we eventually got our own place, and me and my boyfriend took therapy and everything like that. So but those were my expectations that were kind of like disappointing, is that I just wanted to be in a better place mentally and financially, and I wasn't. And also, you know, like I didn't have no friends. Like whenever I found I was pregnant, it's like everybody just disappeared. Like I didn't have nobody, you know. So that was another thing that was kind of disappointing as well, because as a pregnant woman, you want to have that best friend that's there for you, and like no matter what, and they're gonna help you with everything. And I didn't have that. I just pretty much did everything on my own. So
Okay. Rita?
Oh, well, my expectations were to go to all black college in a different state.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really didn't want kids in general. I didn't want any kids. But, other things happened. So I ended up getting pregnant. And then when I got pregnant, it was serious, because it was like, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep it? Or are you going to do the other thing? Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know. I think what really changed my mind is when I heard her heartbeat for the first time.
Oh,
So that's what changed my mind, because I really was going to, because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be with this person. I don't want her to be raised in a broken home. So I was like, maybe not. And then when I heard her heartbeat, I was like, nah, forget it. I'm going to keep my child, because that's mine. And I'm just going to figure it out. And whatever happens, happens. So, yeah.
all right. Gracie, you're muted.
Is that better?
Yeah, you're good.
My biggest thing was probably honestly like it doesn't seem real, but everybody else kind of thought about me. I had to really get over what I wanted to, because like a lot of my family and the kind of friends at the time were like, they obviously didn't think like they didn't think that I was ready, or they didn't it would be a good idea. So they were like, "Oh, you need to do this." Me what I needed to do. It made me like really a lot of them too. So it was a big thing for me to be able to get over caring what everybody else. Um, just ultimately too wanted me to not keep my pregnancy to like, oh, you're too young, or your relationship isn't stable, money, you're not living. And then I just decided I want to do what I want. And
Could you say that again? You broke up a little bit.
I said like one day I was okay for what anyone else thinks, maybe, you know. And I decided to be kept in. And it was like I was thinking about it the other day. I'm glad I didn't listen to what anybody else wanted me to do, because that was like one of the worst decisions. So That
The I've heard it from all three of you that part of the challenge was when you made the decision to have the child that you reality said I lost friends, lost support, emotional support. Um, do you feel like you were being punished for your decision?
No, I feel like when stuff like that happens, whenever you have a child or something happens to you where your life just changed drastically and people disappear, I feel like it's for a reason. Because I don't want to say all the friends I used to be with, but some of them, they're just still in a very childish mindset. Like, I don't want to say childish, but they're younger and they don't have a child, so they're in a whole different mindset, and
Hmm.
I've even had a old friend of mine hit me up to party just like a few weeks ago, and I was like, did you know that I'm pregnant and I have a 9-month-old daughter? Like, I can't be doing that anymore. Like, I don't know, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that mothers shouldn't have fun, which they should, but that's just how I am. Like, I feel like I'd rather be at home with my baby and doing stuff with her and like doing family stuff. That's just me. So I feel like whenever that stuff happens, I feel like God is doing it for a reason.
Hmm.
Because if those people were really meant to be in your life, they're gonna stay. Like, I still have my family,
Can't hear her.
Reality.
sorry, can you hear
Oh,
me?
now we can.
Okay, sorry, somebody called me. Um, but I was saying that whenever stuff like that happens, that I feel like God does it on purpose, because if those people were really meant to be in your life, they're gonna stay. Like, I still have my family, and
Hmm.
the father of my child, and I have people that I need, that need to be in my life, and so I feel like when stuff like that happens, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Gracie, what are your thoughts?
um, what was the question? Like, worded it again? It was,
The do you feel like you were punished for your decision?
oh no, I some days I'm like super stressed out. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like the most stressful thing ever. But never like, oh, I hate this. I wish I didn't do this. Like some people I know will like have a kid and then like a month later after they're like posting all this stuff, I love my kids so much, they're with them all the time, and then it gets out of the newborn phase where they're just sleeping all the time, and then they're like an actual crazy baby, and then like I'm like posting stuff at like 3 in the morning where they're just like out doing stuff or getting into fights with people, and I'm just like, if when you become a mom, it's like that stuff, like unless you're just like stopping and someone punches you, you really shouldn't be like doing that stuff, or leaving. Like, I just wonder, I'm like, where are your babies at when you're doing that? Like, how are you just leaving them with someone and just going out to do that? Like, there's so much that could happen to you or the baby, and I
Hmm.
feel like they're just not putting their baby first. So no, I don't think I was like punished at all. I think it's like the best thing ever. I know some people think the same about their own kids with others, but it's like I had to sacrifice a lot. I had to lose a lot, but I got like way more in return by making the choice I made. Mm-hmm.
That's a powerful statement. Um, the sacrifices you make as young mothers for your child, for your family, are huge. Um, but I want to reassure you that the my whole mentor for life thing. I don't want you to abandon your dreams, your goals, and aspirations. Um, I don't mind you postponing it, calling time out, devoting the time necessary to grow and raise your children. But like reality said, you as young mothers need to have fun. Now, your fun might have to change
Mm-hmm.
because the consequences of that fun need to be taken into account. Right, Rita?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Don't do that. I don't be doing nothing crazy. I don't.
Yeah. And so but it sounds like all of you have made that decision, and your priorities are aligning because you have to mature a lot quicker. And
Yeah.
so, um, reality called them younger. But there are people who don't have your responsibility. And
Mhm.
so they are, in a term, buck wild.
Mhm.
And you have left them for more a different lifestyle,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and your children will be rewarded for that because you're mom and they can depend on you. Um, the y'all, everybody's seen the bad kid on aisle 3 swinging at his mother or father.
Mhm.
Um, that's what happens when the parenting aspect of the child is not embraced. Uh,
Yeah.
there was an 18-year-old man, young man at East Point, a couple of years, well, it's been quite a few years ago, and he was angry. And he was angry because his quote was, "I'm growing up, but I'm not being raised."
Ooh,
Um,
Mhm.
that's
That
deep.
hurt my heart. And he had two parents at home. So the importance of parenting, as you are coming into it, is that you have to help your children to grow up so that they are, um, that I don't mind babysitting for them. I don't babysit brats. I just can't do it. So you want to raise them so somebody else will ask you, can I take care of your kids? So you can go and have that fun, take your spa trip or what have you. It's hard to find a babysitter for a bad kid. So I applaud you for the fact that you are embracing where you are, but I don't want you to feel like have to forfeit your dreams. You may have to postpone them, but let's not forfeit them. Uh, Promise?
Promise.
Yeah. I'm just gonna wait till my kids are older, so that I can be in the club when I'm 40. And I don't. They're gonna be like 10, 12 years old.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
don't. It's not gonna be that hard to find a babysitter because they're gonna be older. You know what I mean? So I mean, at the same, I'm not postponing it, but I'm just waiting to do all that fun stuff. It can wait. It's more important to
Yes.
be there with my babies.
So, when it comes to relationships and friendships, um, is it? I've heard a lot of "I'm alone" kind of thing.
mhm.
The What do you need as far as friendships, and how do you think that can happen?
Say
Because
that
everybody
again.
Yeah,
got
would you?
kids. Go ahead.
Say that again, Mister. It kind of cut out.
Yeah.
When it comes to friendships,
Hmm.
how do you see yourself developing new friendships with like-minded uh, people in the same who understand you, who understand what you're up against? Is it possible?
Yeah. Oh,
That's an easy
yeah.
answer.
If they have kids
Like I'm
that
open
you'll like,
to being friends with other moms. I just never thought about it because I like had three friends that were like solid that was with me while I was pregnant. So I was like,
Mhm.
you guys are not my friends. Like I consider them as sisters.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think about it that way. Now I'm like, okay, I guess.
Now you gotta think about it.
She said, like, you gotta think about it. Yeah. Because it'd be like, we have kids. Well, one of my friends, she actually has a baby, but, he's kind of little. So my daughter's kind of moving around.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So it would be nice for her to have some friends.
Yeah, play dates and what have you.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I think, COVID plays a big part in that now, where your mobility is not, you can't even go meet at the park because they've shut
Paranoid.
schools down.
I'm
Huh?
paranoid with this virus.
Yeah,
I don't want to go nowhere.
yeah,
But I think Wait, the question was how are you going to make new friends like-minded, right? That was your
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Um, I think so. I don't want to just say I can only be friends with like people who are moms. Just people
Mhm.
who are just like, I guess, more mature than, cuz I just don't want to have my daughter or my kids around anybody that like is immature. I don't want to bring anybody that has like bad energy or that just
Mhm.
does dumb stuff, So I think that takes a big role in
Careless.
it too, because you have to take your kids into consideration with everybody you bring into your life from now on.
Mhm.
So you can't just become friends with somebody right off the bat. And I feel like me as a mom, you know how I am when I wasn't a mom. I already had trust issues, but now that I am a mom, I don't trust nobody at all. So it's like if you're like somebody new in my life, I'm interrogating you before you go around my kids because I need to make
Exactly.
sure you're safe, you're mature, you're not gonna put any bad things into my child's head. Like that's just how I am. So I think whenever you're a mom, you have to also take that into consideration that whoever you're around, their energy is going to rub off on you, and then whenever you get home, that energy is going to rub off on your kids. So
Okay, good point. A lot of good points in there. And COVID is kind of challenging even any chances that you might have because you don't know the health and wellness of those who you might even want to meet. So it's kind of a challenging time now, but it is a necessity. And you might find that because of your family, that you might have to hang out with people that are older than you
Yes.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
just for the sake of addressing the concerns that reality has. They have more going on for them and have more to protect than just being wild about their lifestyle. So that's something you really have to be conscious of. Uh, the the interesting thing that I'm pulling from you guys is the fact that you're on a path in a direction where there are a lot of unknowns, and um, the assistance that you feel like you need is out there. You know that. Uh,
Yeah.
the question is, how do we get? Um, when I think about the emotional component, the mental, the physical, um, the spiritual, and having an understanding and the patience to deal with the unknown, um, it's going to be a tough road. You've already experienced it. Um, Finding a job, finding daycare, finding um, cooperation from your significant other
Mm-hmm.
becomes a challenging part of it. Um, and where we're having this discussion as young moms, I'm planning to talk to some young dads as well um, to see where they are at. How
Yeah.
do they feel? Um, and I'm not going to ask you guys because y'all might answer.
Oh.
Everybody's got an opinion. Um, but it speaks to the same relationship or absence of relationship that you guys have suffered from, is the way I'll put it. Um, that young men are struggling. Even when they want to do the right thing, they don't have the tools to do it because their dad wasn't home. Um, they've been emotionally abused or physically abused. And so I talked about broken men um, earlier. So the growth as a parent is going to take education, and you have to get close enough to someone. Reality said, "Mom wants to do everything." Um, it's like, no, teach me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
teach me. And
You say
so
you're having that class soon with the
the
young
guy,
dads?
why do you ask? Yes.
Because I was just gonna just put a little something in there because I heard what you said. Um, I was just gonna say like I was not prepared to be a mother at all. I didn't have no tools, nothing, and it whenever I had my daughter, it just kind of like it was like an instinct, kind of like it just happened, and I just had to be a mother. So it's like I don't feel like people should always use that as an excuse, because it's like you kind of do know what you need to do as a parent. You need to straighten up, you need to obviously take care of your child, and just I feel like you should put that into consideration for your class or for the thing that you're doing, just so
Hmm.
that I just feel like nobody, not even women, should have a reason to not be a mother, to not, because I wasn't prepared with any tools or anything to be a mother, and it just happened.
Hmm.
So
No, yeah, like reality just said, like I was talking to my mom the other day. Isn't it weird how like one day you like a person and like your mom, and it's like you just know what to do.
mhm.
Know you have to feed them, to change them, and then like as the baby grows, you like know what they need and stuff. And it's like you can't be like go to a class and be like, okay, this is how you be a mom. Like do it.
There's no
Yeah.
book on being parenting,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
when you have a baby, the instincts just kick in. I don't know. It's like a
Yep.
bond between a mother and a child.
It's
It
instant.
kicks
It's
in. Yeah,
instant.
Yeah,
it's
Wow.
kind of crazy.
It's
yeah.
mother's intuition and instinctive in that. And that's where
I didn't believe my mom had eyes in the back of her head, but the other day, my boyfriend's daughter gave my 9-month-old daughter a piece of a straw wrapper, but she was sitting behind me, and I don't know what made me turn around because she was behind me, and I literally turned around and just went in her mouth and dug out right out her mouth. I was like, see, I got the eyes in the back of my head. I know
It
my
happens. I don't know what it is.
yeah. I
it's
like that.
amazing. And that,
Hmm.
and that is natural. Um, and you have embraced the position. Um, and it sounds like all three of you don't feel like you had a choice. I'm going to have a baby and I need to do what I need to do.
Mhm.
And that has just refined your eyes and back of your head. You're allowing yourself to evolve as a mother and as a parent. Uh,
Yeah.
the part that the psych, psychology, the mindset of a lot of young men, unfortunately, is you're pregnant, you made the decision, um, it's your responsibility.
Yep.
And so many I have seen walk away from that.
Mhm.
Um, and so and a lot plays into that mindset. But that's where the class comes in for young men. It's the sense of responsibility, not only as a dad, but as a man.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and society has kind of redefined things. And I'm speaking predominantly from my own personal biblical foundation. I'll put it that way. So there are certain expectations that are there that I expect to see in a young man. And you, as young women, there's certain qualities and characteristics you want.
Mhm.
Um, and security is one of them. You want somebody who's responsible, who would make the same priority that you have made
Yeah.
and not feel like they can opt out. So
Mhm.
that's coming. But our time is just about up. And so we will talk again because it's a matter of the children are here. Um, what's next? What do we do next? How do I get back on track? do I literally have to shut down what I wanted to do? And like reality said, I'm dedicating the next period or season to my children, and I'll pick up my nursing degree later.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh, say again,
I said it's like a pause.
like a pause.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The pause.
And so the thing I am conscious of and concerned about is um, you having a lot to handle and not enough support to handle it.
Yeah.
So next time we get together, we'll talk about what that support looks like um, from the people in your circle, uh, the community, um, what those needs are. And I'm not just talking about diapers. I'm talking about a spa day kind of thing. Um, just, take care of myself for a second.
Are you offering, Mr. Murray?
Right.
I need one.
Need to get a pedicure. But we can talk about that next time.
Watch 3 Baby.
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Melo's
yeah.
in there.
Start a live about that.
We'll see if we can find you some help. Okay.
Fine.
Yeah. You know what dawned on me?
Hmm.
Um, who's reality? You're 21,
Mhm.
right? You're the
Mhm.
same age as my oldest grandchild.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So your babies could be my great grandchildren.
that's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
At least
That's
your
crazy.
grandchild gets to drink. I
What?
didn't get to. When I was pregnant on my 21st birthday, I couldn't even go have fun, and now I'm pregnant on my 22nd. So
Oh.
Whatever. I don't care about that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Mhm.
So I'm going to let you ladies go. And hey, little man. And we will talk offline to see when we come back and finish this up. I thank you. And we're going to, I think there was a lot of good information put out there, not just for us as parents, but your siblings, not siblings, but your peer group, people that are your age, and more so the the younger
He's so cute.
the younger group, those
Yeah.
in middle school and high school who are um, looking for love the wrong way and expecting
Mhm.
um,
And
things.
that's what we're going to be talking about. And I don't mean to cut you off. Is the
Yeah,
next part of the questions, right?
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
because I'm real set for that one.
Oh, me too, girl. I got
I'm
lots to
real
say.
set for that one.
I got lots to say about it.
Okay, then. I will talk to you ladies later, and y'all be good and stay safe. And call me if you need me.
Okay.
All right,
Bye,
take care.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Let me get off this line. Wow.
Ah.